how do we choose curriculum? There are so many options and so many things to think about. Today, I'm going to walk you through most of my thought process in choosing curriculum. Hi, my name's Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I'm thankful that you're here. And on my channel, we talk about all things homeschool, which right now is curriculum. So we're doing quite a few curriculum reviews since we have finished our 4th grade year, and we are doing curriculum flip-throughs, and coming up we will be doing curriculum picks. But I wanted to take just a few moments today and talk through some of my thought process as to how I choose the curriculum. And I really shouldn't say how I choose it, because my daughter is going into 5th grade, so it truly is how we choose the curriculum that we will be using in 5th grade. So first of all, I think about my state requirements. So I live in a state where I am required to teach math, language, science, and history every year. Now, I don't have to have a formal curriculum for these subjects, but I am required to teach them and to be able to prove that I have taught them throughout the year. So I normally take a piece of paper. I'm going to use one of these little whiteboards today, but I write down math, science, history, and language because I know for sure that I'm going to have to teach those subjects. Then next, I talk to my daughter and I ask her, what is she interested in learning? What does she want to learn next year? So she has informed me that Spanish and keyboarding are 2 subjects that she wants to have next year, so I add Spanish and keyboarding. Now, I want her to also have Bible, and then we really need to do something with regards to art, because that is one area that I know that we are lacking in is art appreciation, something along those lines. So these are the subjects that I'm planning to address next year: Bible, math, science, history, language, Spanish, typing, and art. So now that I have the subjects that we want to address, the next thing that I think about are learning styles. So my daughter is primarily a kinesthetic learner. She loves manipulatives. She loves those hands-on science experiments. She does not like to just sit down and read the textbook. That is not something that she enjoys. It's not something that she retains. Now, she will retain some audio, but really it's hands-on mostly for her to truly retain the information. So I have to keep that in mind. For math, I need manipulatives, and then I also need, for science, we want experiments. The next thing I think about is me. What else is going on in my life? How much time do I have so that I know whether I'm able to pull together unit studies? How much time do I have to do the research? How much time do I have to actually be doing the teaching throughout the day? So those are things that I have to think about. Now, I have a job outside of doing homeschool, so I have to think about how much time is required for that job and how much time is required for homeschool, so that I make sure that I am choosing the correct curriculum with regards to time. Something else that I have to think about is budget. What is my budget? So I do have a budget for my homeschool, and I'm going to walk through a little bit how that truly does impact our choices. The next thing I need to think about is, what do I want our homeschool to look like? Do I want child-led learning? Do I want her to be doing everything independently? Do I want a box curriculum? Do I want to do all unit studies? Do I want to do distance learning where I am outsourcing and have a video that is able to do the teaching? So those are the types of questions that I ask myself. I am an eclectic homeschooler. We found out in this video that I definitely am. And so I really take it subject by subject to determine what I want to do and how I want to approach that subject. So therefore, let's get back to my list of subjects. Bible is at the top of my list, so I'm going to address it first. For Bible, we are not really very good at following curricula for Bible. We are much more into unit type studies for Bible, devotionals, and using the Bible for Bible. So I'm going to do unit type studies, devotionals, and using the Bible, which means when I think about my budget, that is not going to be a high budget item for me. Now, for math, I want a parent-led math curriculum. And I want one that has a lot of manipulatives because, again, that is the way my child learns, is through those math manipulatives. So it is important to me to find a curriculum that utilizes manipulatives. Next is science. What do I want with science? Do I want a Christian curriculum? Do I want a secular curriculum? Do I want one that has quite a bit of text? Do I want one that is online? What type of science curriculum do I want? Now, I mentioned before that my daughter is a science experiment girl, and she definitely is. She doesn't like too much text, but I need a science curriculum that has a lot of experiments and a little bit of text. So that's my wish list for science. Next is history. My daughter loves history, but one of the biggest things that she loves about history are the field trips. So when I'm looking for a curriculum, I need to keep in mind that I want one that's not so intensive that we won't have time for the field trips. I also want one that will leave some money in my budget so that we do have money for those field trips out of our homeschool budget. We're on to language. As I mentioned, I have a job, so I have to keep in mind that I do have those time commitments. I also have some additional family commitments. For language, I want a curriculum that is partially independent. I still want to be involved with it, but I want her to be able to do quite a bit of it on her own. For Spanish and typing, I want both of those to be independent so that I truly know that I'm not going to be committing very much time each week to Spanish and typing. Those are things that those are subjects that she is going to do on her own. So finally, we have art. For art, I need something that is easy and engaging. And quite frankly, I'm not going to spend very much money on an art curriculum because I'm still not convinced that we're going to do it. So art is going to be something that I probably won't purchase at the beginning of the year. I'm going to see how it's going, see if I can pull in some other activities for art because if it's not easy and engaging, she's not going to want to do it. And quite frankly, neither am I. That is just not where our passion lies. Sometimes I wish it was because I would love to be more crafty, but it's not. Now that I have made notes for each of our subject areas, it is time for me to start doing the research. I get to look at the blogs, read the reviews, check out the YouTube videos, go to the individual publishers' pages and find out information about the curricula that I am looking into. I know how much it costs. Is it parent-led? Is it independent? What viewpoint does it have? So I get to do all of that research, which is one of my favorite things, but I get to do all of that research. Then I'll narrow it down. Now I will choose, the way I choose is I start at the top of my list and I'll choose Bible first because I have a budget. So I'll choose Bible first and then I'll choose math, and I'll keep in mind those manipulatives and how much I'm going to be spending on manipulatives. Then I go to science and I'll look and choose a science curriculum. So I start here and just work my way down to make sure that I am staying within budget. And that also means that what I have ranked as my highest priorities, also I should be able to truly get the curriculum that I think is the best fit for us at this time within our budget. By the time that I normally get to the bottom of this list, I will be looking for items that are not as expensive, because I've already used quite a bit of my budget for the other subjects that I know that I'm placing priority on. Now, a few things to note. Number one is I don't think that there is one absolute curriculum that is the perfect curriculum that is perfectly within your budget, that you're going to love, your child's going to love, your child will learn everything just the way you want them to learn it through this curriculum, that it's easy enough that they don't get frustrated, but it's not so easy that they get bored, that spends the exact amount of time every day and you get to cover everything, but still leaves room for you to be able to take rabbit trails. Don't believe that there is one curriculum that does it all. It would be great if there was. So I just really try to have wisdom in choosing what is going to be best for us. But that leads me to point number two, is if it doesn't work, I can change it. And that is one of the beauties of homeschool, is if it doesn't work, I can change it, because there are no two families that are alike. There are no two homeschools that are alike. There are no two children that are alike. So I love having that flexibility to be able to change it if it is necessary. And number three, I don't have to make that decision right now, right? So it is April and we are talking about curriculum for next year, obviously. But this video is meant to be a help to you in the thought process. There is quite a bit of time between now and the next school year, assuming that you are following a traditional school year pattern. So there is nothing to say that you have to make that decision today. Really good to be able to step back and take your time in thinking about what is best for your family. There are so many curriculum videos all around YouTube, and as I mentioned, we are all about curriculum right now on our channel as well. But keep in mind, please, that these videos are meant to be a help. They're meant to give you some more insight into the different curricula, to help with the thought process and the choosing process. They are in no way, shape, or form meant to put additional pressure on you to choose a curriculum right now. With that in mind, I hope that this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. Also, in the comments, I would like to know if there are additional things that you think about when you're choosing your curriculum. I would love to hear back from you so that I can add those to the questions that I ask myself when choosing curriculum. If you are not already subscribed, please do so and hit that red subscribe button. We are in the process of finishing up our reviews for 4th grade, and pretty soon we're going to have the picks for 5th grade coming out. With those picks, I'm planning on doing some videos to explain why we chose the curricula that we did for those different subjects, as well as the types of manipulatives or supplements that we're planning on bringing in, and how we're planning on using the individual curriculum for 5th grade. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have a great day today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.